We're going to do the second line today, and if you are great at this, you can just zoom to the end and get the answers. Or if you need lots of help with this, you can pause as I go along and slow things down. And if you're good at this, but you really want to make sure that you're doing it right, you can turn the video on 2 times or something, the speed, and just go along with me. Make sure you're doing it right. But I'll try and give you not just the answers, but how we do this. So here's my 2 notes that look squished up against each other. So the top one is the root. So that's a C sharp. And then I've got C sharp, E, G, and B flat. That's a diminished triad right there. And if you go down from C sharp on a keyboard to B flat, that's 3 half steps down. So a diminished triad can only be half diminished or diminished seventh with 3 half steps down. That's a diminished seventh, which is a diminished 7 chord. So that's what we have here. Here, there's no notes squished together. So this is in root position like this. So this is an E chord. You see I've got a B flat there. So normally E chords would be E, G, B, D, which is a minor 7th. The flat is on the 5th of the chord. E minor 7 flat 5 is the same thing as E half diminished 7 right there. Here's my 2 notes that are together. So the C sharp again is the root, but now I've got C sharp, E, G sharp, which is a minor triad, yes, which means that that B right there is going to make the 7th. And this is a minor 7 chord like that. Okay. 2 notes right here together. So the F sharp is the root, and I've got nothing else there. F sharp, A, and C is a diminished chord. And if I go down to the E, that's a whole step, not a 3 half steps. So a diminished triad can only be in a diminished 7 chord or a half diminished. And since this is only a whole step down or a minor 7th up, this is half diminished. Okay. Here's another one in root position. You can see that each line sort of focuses on the same shapes, and so you kind of get better at this. This is going to be a root position E chord, root position E chord, root position E chord, right? E, G, B flat is diminished. E up to D flat or down to D flat is a diminished 7th. So E diminished 7 chord because there's a diminished triad and a diminished 7th on it. Here we have another E chord, E, G sharp, and B. That's a major triad. So this can only be major 7 or major 7 or dominant 7. So we just have to check this here. Is it a whole step down or a half step down to D sharp, right? And it's a half step, so that's a major 7th. Major triad, major 7th equals E large M. You can write MAJ if that's not clear. Okay. Here we have the A is the root, and it's an A sharp, right? I'll do this one out below so you can see. A sharp, C sharp, and E is clearly diminished. Okay, it's a minor triad with a lower 5th. And so we just have to check and see how far down is it from A sharp to G. And remember our rule that if you just have a second, like A to G, all seconds are major seconds, right, or a whole step down, unless the accidentals are different. So A sharp raises it up. So let me do this for you again visually like this. Here's my A, here's my G. That's a whole step, but now it's A sharp. So that's 3 half steps. That's a diminished 7th, diminished triad, diminished 7th, A sharp, diminished chord right there. F, A, C, E, no sharps or flats. We know as an F major 7 chord. It's one of the white note chords. Okay. A, C sharp, again, these 2, that one's top one's the root. A, C sharp, E is a major triad. So it can only be major 7th or dominant. If you look, G down to A is a whole step, so that's a minor 7th on the chord. So A dominant 7. Don't have to write anything for that. And then E, G sharp, B, that's a major triad, right? And then the 7th, D is a whole step below, so that's also dominant right there. And that's your chords for the day.